Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakwadash. I want to give double honors to the elders and apostles at Great Millstone, taught me this truth and rule well. And I want to say shalom to Akim and Akwat out there pursuing this truth diligently. Coming at you once again with another lesson. This one's titled Seedline, Tares, Speckled Birds, and Bringing Forth the Enemy's Seed. Alright, so it's kind of a little mix and match. Alright, a little bit of a quicker lesson today, but I wanted to touch on this. I originally started pondering about this because I had this image saved in my phone, and it's by this lady, Joy Danielle. Alright, and here it is. She says, "Black men turn me the fuck off. Y'all literally disgusting me. I will never marry a black man, period." And then you see this guy snap back at her, Ace McCannis, and he says, "We ain't trying to marry no motherfucker with capital gums and lowercase teeth anyway, ho." And it's hilarious, man. I got a kick out of it. It made me laugh. This bitch over here with some big ass gums. And so that's where the whole bringing forth the enemy seed, we'll talk about that. And Seedline, before we can talk about really anything else, we got to get what Seedline is. Okay, because in America, and not just in America, but in the world in general, they think that the mother has some type of play with who you are, and that's simply not the case. Now, it doesn't make women useless. All right, they still serve their purposes. They bring forth the enemies. They bring forth the enemies. Some of them do. They bring forth the seed, and they act as an incubator. Okay, and of course it's gonna get, the child's gonna get traits from its mother. All right, facial features and stuff like that as well. But as far as seed line goes, it's not, you're not of your mother's seed line. All right, you're of your father's seed line. Your mom is of her father's seed line. Okay, so we'll explain that here in a moment. Okay, and we'll even get a paint thing open. Okay, to explain said thing. Okay, I wish that would go away. Can we get rid of that? No, we'll explain it. All right, it's gonna be real simple. We don't even really need to draw it, but we'll draw it just to further explain it. This is Numbers 1 and verse 18. Let's see. We're gonna actually go up to. We're gonna just skip up to 1. We're gonna go Numbers 1 and 17. It says, "And Moses." We're gonna actually go up to 16. It says, "These were the." And this is Numbers 1 and 16. It says, "These were the renown of the congregation, princes of the tribes of their fathers." Princes of the tribes of their fathers. Stop. Tribes. Let's go and get what a tribe is. What is a tribe? Okay, a tribe.
Tribe.
A social division in traditional society consisting of families or communities linked by social, economic, religious, or blood ties with a common culture and dialect, typically having a recognized leader. Okay, tribe would be your dynasty, your house. All right, your house. Okay, and we're not talking about a physical house, but we're talking about, they used it. They don't really use this term anymore, but it was very prominent during the medieval times. So if your last name was Johnson, you would be of, I am Sir Jermaine Stewart of the House Johnson. All right, is how it would go if you had one of those black ass names today, or back then. All right, you would be of House Johnson, or of House Beaumont, or any of these. That would be your house. All right, your name was your house. Your bloodline, your seed line was your house. All right. So, but it's the people that don't really only use that now as royalty. Well, people parading around to be royalty. It says that's not it. We're trying to get a. Here it is, right here. Second definition, especially a royal one, as it says. It says a family or family lineage. All right, we see before we even started the lesson, we had this word lineage up. It says a family or family lineage, especially a noble or royal one, a dynasty, and we are a royal lineage. All right, through Israel. All right, through that line. All right. So it says a clan, kindred. Look, goes back to the word tribe. Race. Your race. Okay? You're black. All right? Yes, everyone. The race of black. From the land Blackington? No. Because it's not a race. You know, that's just what they call our people. Black. Brown. From the land of Brownonia? No. All right? So no. It's just that we have, who are we? What are we? What are we? We are Israelites. All right, from where? Israel. Okay, but they call us black, brown. All right, and just red. Sometimes, you know, when they're the real red people, they call the Native Americans, "Oh, we Redskins." All right, when they're the real Reds. All right, in the Native Americans are red and they have reddish undertones, as in because they're what you would call ruddy. Okay, if you look up that word ruddy. Okay. But it's not the same as Esau's red. They're like slapped in the face red. Okay? So let's continue on. So now you know what house means and tribe. So you know what that goes back to? Your race. Alright, the race of their fathers, the lineage of their fathers. Let's go grab lineage real quick.
Lineage.
Lineage. Alright. It says lineal or lineal descent from an ancestry, or pedigree. Now, if you go, what is the pedigree of this animal with dogs? It's common with dogs, all right? What is the pedigree? The record of descent of an animal showing it to be a purebred. All right, what are they? Well, they're a German Shepherd. Do you have the proof? Yes, here you go. All right, cool. They're a German Shepherd. All right, so that's how you know they're a German Shepherd is how? What? Through their lineage, all right? What was his father? All right, what was their father? Okay, what was their father? Now, in this day and age, you were like, well, what's the mother as well? The mother really doesn't have anything to do with it. Now, if you take a German Shepherd and they had a German Shepherd father, but the mother happened to be a Husky, it's gonna look a little different now, isn't it? But at the end of the day, it's still a German Shepherd. They might not classify it as such in this world, but it's still just a German Shepherd. All right, because that's just how it works. You are of your father's seed, and we're gonna prove that. Numbers 1 and 16 again. These were the renowned of the congregation, princes of the tribes of their father, heads of thousands in Israel. So they were again called by their fathers, and it's going to be further proved in just a moment. In verse 17, and Moses and Aaron took these men, which are expressed by their names. In verse 18, here's the point. And they assembled all the congregation together on the first day of the second month, and they declared their pedigrees. We just got what that means, their lineage, their race, their household, who they are, their ethnicity, after their families. How? By the house of their fathers, by the race of their father. You got a white mom and a black dad. Guess what? You're black. All right. Now you call you mixed here. All right, but you're not really mixed. There's no such thing as mix. You don't mix seeds. It's not how it works. You don't. Your mother doesn't pass a seed on, so you can't mix seed. There's no seed. It's just the father's seed being planted. Okay, that's it. You can essentially you got to think of the mother as a plot. Okay, as a plot. Women are like plots. All right, men are like the seeds. Okay, if you take an orange. All right, you can plant it many different places, but when it grows, it's still going to be an orange, okay? Now, you could plant it in really good soil, and it could look really good, or you could plant it in some musty, dingy, nasty-looking soil, and it could be bad. You end up getting with some girl who's hit-looking, and your kid's gonna come out hit-looking. All right, but guess what? It's still an orange, right? It's still an orange. You can plant it many different places. All right, you can plant it in a vineyard that's meant for grapes. It'll still grow. You can plant it in some places that's just meant for tomatoes. It'll still grow. All right, that's how it's gonna go. All right, it might look different or grow differently. All right, that's all. All right, but it's still an orange. An orange is an orange. Okay, so, and they declared their pedigrees after their families by the house of their fathers. By the house of their fathers, by the house of their fathers, by the house of their fathers, by the house of their fathers. And doesn't mention mothers there. They didn't declare it by their mothers. Their mother was not in the picture for this. It was the father. They declared their pedigrees, who they were, their race, after what race their father is. Your father is a black man, you're a black man. But that's what they say, and that's what they call us in the world. What it really means, we're not black or brown. I mean, we're brown. Our people generally are brown skinned, not all the time. I'm an example of that. Some people might look white. Some people might look Asian. Some people it might look like that. But if you go back through your father's line. Your dad might have looked Chinese. His dad might have looked Chinese. His dad might have looked Chinese, but he was very, very dark for a Chinese man. And his dad was very, very, very dark for a Chinese man. And his dad was a so-called black man. It was actually an Israelite, okay? Because that's who we are. The so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, black and brown, right? We are actually Israelites, all right? From the tribe, Israel, all right? The 12 tribes of Israel, all right? Respectively, Southern Kingdom, Northern Kingdom. Southern Kingdom being what would be called today so-called Negroes or black people, right? With, Northern Kingdom being what they would call, Latinos and Native Americans, all right? Or all these different bywords, okay? So it goes through your father's line, okay? It's not about your mother. And we have the generations of Yahushua, the generations of Adam to prove this, all right? It's always through your father's line. If you have a Israelite father, okay, and you have a Moabite mother, okay, you are an Israelite because your father is an Israelite, and you declare your pedigree after the father of your house, as it says, after your father's house, as it says in Numbers 1:18. Okay, so that's how you get your pedigree, not from your mother. Now, your mother might instill certain traits, like for example, my dad's much browner than I am. Okay, but my mom, white as can be. All right, so-called white. All right. Very, 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 very light, man. And I believe her to be an Edomite. So, does that make me half Edomite, half Israelite? No, it doesn't. There's no such thing. All right. It's declared after my father. My father's what? An Israelite. So I am an Israelite. Okay. Even if your fathers don't necessarily act like Israelites, mind you wouldn't be able to really tell on an average day if you just met him. But because I get this truth, I understand this truth, and I can bring it out. Only an Israelite can do that. So that would mean because I am, that he is as well. And whoever his father is also an Israelite as well, going back through that lineage, through that house. All right, going back. Okay, it's almost, you might seem some people, because some people are so Edomitified, all right, which can happen, all right. And I'm not throwing shade at my father, but he has spent a large chunk of his life around Edomite people, growing up in small rural places, all right, even though he's obviously so-called Mexican, all right. And there's even rumors that, oh yeah, the guy that that my grandmother chose wasn't the guy, and it was actually this Mexican guy, or it could have been this Irish guy, which I'll allow that to pass. And my dad really wants it to be that Irish guy, because he wants to be white, okay, because that's what he's when you're put in the society. And, being white is better in the society until you find out it's not. Until you find out about the Edomites and Jacob. Everyone wants to be white until they find out what that entails, what that holds, all right, what the white people, so-called, have in store for them, okay? So you can get someone like that's been, engulfed and submerged in the Edomite culture, hanging around Edomites, trying to be an Edomite, all right, because Jake has this thing where they hate themselves, all right, and it can even happen with brown-looking people. And you start to, take on, how they act, how they talk, their humor, right? And, and being married to an Edomite woman, all right, that would being my mother, right? For many different years, all right? You get ingrained in that society and that culture. And it's happened with Jake, all right, all over, all right? And there's scriptures about it, going over, getting intertwined with heathen nations. And then you do what? You start taking on their cultures, taking on their customs, acting like they act, eating like they eat, worshiping their gods, so on and so forth, right? So you can always, so you might have that in your family as well, but the one way that your father's an Israelite is if you get this. Your father might not know he's an Israelite, and your father's father might not know he's an Israelite. But if you're here, you understand, you get the name Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, all right, you're teaching this truth, all right, you can get this truth, you understand it, you understand that Esau, Edom is the devil, all right, and that the Lord is actively opposed against those people, all right, and then he's going to bring judgment, and he's coming back soon. Then you're an Israelite, you get it, you understand it. All right, and a heathen's not going to be able to get that. And a heathen damn sure will not be able to bring out the truth, and will not be able to teach, and will not be teaching and calling upon the name of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. Okay? So that's how you know. But I look some type of way, or he looks some type. It doesn't matter how you look. Okay? It doesn't matter how you look, and we're going to grab that. It goes through your seed line. And Israel has a natural relationship with Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. A heathen's not going to be, saying call Allah Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai and praising the Lord. That it's just simply not going to happen, for the simple fact that the name strikes fear into the heathen. Strikes fear into the heathen. Oh, it's fearful among the heathen. Name is fearful among the heathen. I think that's how it goes. No, I still got it wrong. So we got a couple. We got Psalms 102 and 15. It says, "So the heathen shall fear the name of the Lord, and all the kings of the earth of the earth thy glory." So if they fear the name of the Lord, you think they're going to be calling on it? Hell no, they're not going to be calling on the name of the Lord. Absolutely not. Okay? Now, they might not hear the name and run away in fear, but they don't want to utter it from their lips. Okay? It feels wrong to them. Something about it just feels wrong because it strikes fear into them. Malachi 1 and 14, it says, "But cursed be the deceiver which hath in his flock a male, and voweth and sacrifice unto the Lord a corrupt thing. For I am a great king, saith the Lord of hosts, and my name is dreadful among the heathen." Okay, so a heathen, a Moabite, is not going to be, saying, "Call all Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai," which means all praise, to Yahweh in the name of Yahweh Shai. Slakia, all praise to, praising the Father in the name of the Son. Slakia, yes, so, Slakia. They're not going to be saying that. Okay, now if you see an Asian-looking person that is doing that, well, guess what? They're not an Asian. They're an Israelite that happens to look like an Asian, and we'll grab that. So it goes by your father. Your mom was an Edomite, doesn't matter. Your mom was a Moabite, doesn't matter. Your mom was an Ishmaelite, don't matter. You're just gonna be eating, you're gonna be eating curry, or you're gonna be eating unseasoned chicken or something, and you're gonna grow up with a little bit of that culture. But that's not who you are. You are an Israelite because it goes through your father, and it doesn't matter if your father even recognizes or acknowledges that that's what it is. You got to realize not all our family members are gonna. There's people as brown as a cup of coffee, man, and they won't son, we're not Israelites, and so you can't go off of that. You got to realize a lot of our parents don't know anything when it comes to this knowledge because it's not for them to. It's not everyone's gonna get it. Because, well, they're Israelites, yes, but not every Israelite's going to get this truth, because some of them are just rejected, or some of them are rejected because of things that they did in their past, or they just weren't predestined. They aren't part of the elect. Not everyone's just going to be able to get it. We're hoping to be a part of the elect, all right, but not everyone's going to get it, and that's something you have to understand. So we're going to go ahead and get Matthew, the book of Matthew, in just one, all right, just start from the top, because we want to prove. All right, this is the generation of Yahweh Shai HaMashiach. Okay, and you're gonna see that it's men. Okay, it's men. It says the book of the This is Matthew chapter 1. It says the book of the generation of Yahweh Shai HaMashiach, the son of David, the son of Abraham. All right, why didn't it say the son of and then name women? Okay, now sometime like down here it says Obed and Slaki and Booz begat Obed of Ruth. All right, which means Obed was born from Ruth, but it's who begat? All right, begat Boaz, all right, begat Obed. He was the one who begat the son. All right, but it was of Ruth. Okay, now sometimes the women might be mentioned like that. Okay, you had a son. Oh yes, that is Bill's son. And say he had multiple wives. All right, at one point, or a previous marriage. Oh yes, that is I can't remember what name I used. I'll say Mike. That is Mike's son. All right, that's Natalie's daughter. All right, but he also has another son, but that's Rachel's daughter or son. Okay, so sometimes that'll be used, but who's begatting them? If you look up that word begat means to what? To bring a child into existence by the process of reproduction. The father is the one who, spawn, create, give life to. That's the one who, the seed comes from, okay? And if you can understand that, great. If you can't, well, that's going to be a stumbling block for you, and I can't help you with that. So, verse 2, Abraham begat Isaac, and Isaac begat Jacob, and Jacob begat Judas and his brethren. Men. Okay? And Judas begat Phares and Zara of Tamar, and Phares begat Ezram, and Ezram begat Aram. And Aram begat Amminadab, and Amminadab begat Naasan, and Naasan begat Salmon, and Salmon begat Boaz of Rechab, and Boaz begat Obed of Ruth, and Obed begat Jesse. And Jesse begat David the king, and David the king begat Solomon of her that had been the wife of Urias. And Solomon begat Robam, and Robam begat Abiah, and Abiah begat Asa. And Asa begat Josaphat, and Josaphat begat Joram, and Joram begat Ozias. And Ozias begat Jotham, and Jotham begat Achaz, and Achaz begat Ezekias. All right, Ezekias begat Manasseh, and Manasseh begat Ammon, and Ammon begat Josias. Ammon. All right, and Josias begat Jeconias and his brethren about the time they were carried away to Babylon. See how it's men? And after they were brought to Babylon, Jeconias begat Salathiel, and Salathiel begat Zorobabel. And Zorobabel begat Abud, I'm not the greatest with names, and Abud begat Eliakim, and Eliakim begat Azor. And Azor begat Sadok, and Sadok begat Achim, and Achim begat Elud. And Elud begat Eleazar, and Eleazar begat Mathan, and Mathan begat Jacob. And Jacob begat Joseph, the husband of Mary, of whom was born Yahushua, who is called Hamashiach. Okay? So men. Sometimes women are mentioned, all right, but just to show, hey, certain men, well, we can go and if you let's see, generations. Let's see if we can go find it. Generations. Unfortunately, we got to type the J word. So let's go look up the genealogy. Okay. And I wish it could do the male and female. Sometimes they do. And doesn't look like we're going to get it. Yeah, I didn't even notice this whole line is Jake brown. Well, obviously they're Jake according to the Bible, but I mean, like, they look like Jake. They're brown. I actually like that. I like that a lot. That should just say Hamashiach and it would be fine. So let's see here. Yeah, it doesn't have it does have some of the women. Well, Mary. Let's see. It doesn't have it how I'd like it to be, because I like to have the female and men separated. Yeah, so this is a little bit better. The only thing is I want to find Boaz. Same we got Boaz, Rakab, Boaz, yeah, let's see here. Boaz. What were his children? Well, there's that, Ruth. He notices Ruth, the widowed Moabite daughter-in-law of Naomi. All right, it's the family tree. So, if you really want to go down to that, where were we? We had a better one. Where'd it go? Man, we just had it. It was good. It was a good one. Oh, there it is. So we had, no, we need to go back. Let's see. obviously it doesn't have the women, but going down there, with Ruth. All right, Ruth. Where was it? Ruth. She was a Moabite woman, right? And through that line, that she was one of the 5 mentioned that were mentioned in the genealogy of Yahushai, which goes back to that line down through. Let's go, right? Who does it go back down? All the way down to Yahushai. So that would be in the lineage of Yahushai. Does that mean Yahushai is part Moabite or that he's a Moabite? No, because he was an Israelite. All right, well, is an Israelite. Okay, so that right there, we've already destroyed that narrative. Okay. Because if that was the case, if you were, you had a heathen mom, you're a heathen. The mom doesn't really matter when it comes to who you are as lineage wise. Okay, and begat Obed of Ruth. All right, so Obed came of Ruth, and then Obed begat Jesse, and Jesse begat David the king. So that's that line of David, right? And then which comes with Solomon, right, all the way down, eventually getting up to Jacob, all right, and Jacob is, the 12 tribes of Israel descend from Jacob, all right. So, and we have this little thing we have here that I saved. This is the genealogy of Abraham, all right, through Abraham, right. You got Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, right. So Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, all right. From Abraham comes Isaac. From Isaac comes the lines of Esau and Jacob. Jacob being the 12 tribes of Israel. Right, and you can see down here, and we always prove that, Amalekites are Esau, all right, they're Edomites. If you look at Esau, it goes down here through Ada, all right, which goes down, which is Hittite, Eliphaz, and you can see over here Timnah, which is a concubine who bore Amalek. So Amalek, they're Edomites, they're Edomites. But as you can see here over on Jacob's side, all right, you can see. Comes down, you got, Asher, Gad, Reuben, Simeon, Levi, Judah, Issachar, Zebulon, right? Manasseh, Ephraim. Oh, look. We're going to be touching on this right now. Look at this. Joseph and Azneth. Azneth was a daughter of priest of On, all right? And who came from them? Manasseh and Ephraim, all right? And they're from the 12 tribes of Israel. They're Israelites. But how? They had a heathen mother. How could that possibly be? Well, let's go and see. Let's go and get Genesis. That's literally where we're going. So call all Yahweh Shem Yahushai for that. So Genesis 41 and 45. Let's go and get it. It says, and Pharaoh, what he was, right? He was an Egyptian. And Pharaoh called Joseph's name Zaphnath-Paneah, and gave him to wife Asenath, the daughter of Potiphar, priest of On. Who is Asenath? Let's go see what her race was, what her lineage was. What was she? She was an Egyptian woman. All right. She was an Egyptian woman. Oh, she was the mother of 2 sons, Manasseh and Ephraim. So they're Egyptian? No. Well, they, in certain circumstances today they'd be called that. She was an Egyptian woman. All right, which would go back to, let's see if it's going to mention it. As and that's important, is related in the birth of her 2 sons, who later became forefathers of the 12 tribes of Israel. Boom, 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 boom. I want to see if it could rank. She was an Egyptian woman. Well, it's saying Egyptian, but Hamitic, right? Hamitic, Ham. So it's not going to necessarily mention that, but that's, with the Egyptians being Hamites. So she a Hamite. All right. Well, not Ruth. I still have that up. Ruth was a Moabite. But continuing on, and we can prove that again. A Moabite. There we go. So she was a Hamite. She was an Egyptian, right? Talking about Asenath. So let's read it over again. I wanted to go see if it did say she was an Egyptian, but it didn't necessarily point out her lineage, her bloodline of being Ham. But Genesis 41 and 45, and Pharaoh called Joseph's name Zaphnath-Paneah, and he gave him to wife Asnath, the daughter of Potiphar, priest of On, a Hamite. And Joseph went out over all the land of Egypt, right? So now we're going to go and jump to 41 and 50, or we can read it down so nobody thinks we're pulling any trickery. It says, and Joseph was 30 years old when he stood before Pharaoh, king of Egypt, and Joseph went out before the presence of Pharaoh and went through all the land of Egypt. And in the 7 plenteous years the earth brought forth by handfuls. And he gathered up all the food of 7 years which were in the land of Egypt, and laid up the food in cities. The food of the field which was round about every city laid he up in the same. And Joseph gathered corn as the sand of the sea very much until he left numbering, for it was out without number. Here's the point. Genesis 41 and 50, and unto Joseph were born 2 sons before the years of famine came, which Asnath, the daughter of Potiphar, priest of On, bore him. A Hamite woman bore Joseph, an Israelite man, 2 children. And Joseph called the name of the firstborn Manasseh, for Yahweh said, He hath made me forget all my toil and all my father's house. And the name of the second called he Ephraim, for Yahweh had caused me to be fruitful in the land of my affliction. All right, so there you go. So 2 children born of Asnath, a Hamite woman, but that had an Israelite father. And what are they? Israelites. So if I go into my little folder over here, the Rakwadash folder, I go to the camp signs, I look at the 12 tribe sign. Oh, who's on here? In Northern Kingdom, Ephraim, Manasseh. That means they're 12 tribes of Israel. That means they're Israelites. All right? And what are they specifically? All right, Manasseh and Ephraim being the Puerto Ricans, Manasseh being the so-called Cubans and so-called Puerto Ricans, right? So there you go, Puerto Ricans and Cubans, so-called, right? Right there, boom, boom, boom. Okay? So you can't try to filibuster around that one. Their mom. What about Ruth? She was a Moabite. Yahushua is an Israelite. So you are of your father's lineage. If you go back up to Numbers 1 and 18, they did what? They called their pedigrees by what? The house of their fathers. Okay, not of their mothers. Mothers had nothing to do with it. All right, you got to realize you got to get the wheat and the ingredients for the bread, and the oven does what? The oven bakes it. That's it. All right, it doesn't add any different types of seasonings to the bread. It doesn't, change what type of bread it's going to be. It's a simple fact of the matter is that the oven, the mother's the oven, all right, and then all the ingredients that go into the bread come from the father. That's how it is. Now, if you're in a really small oven, you might look different. You might be a smaller piece of bread, or however it goes. You might have different hair. You might have a different skin color, different eyes, right? You might end up turning out blue-eyed. That's how we end up with speckled birds. People like I myself. All right, through my lineage, we got with a lot of different women that weren't Jake women, or they might have been Jake women but not looked like Jake women. And go and make yourself some coffee, and then pour a little bit of creamer in there, and pour a little bit more, and pour a little bit more, and pour a little bit. That was coffee. It was black, wasn't it? It was black as can be, wasn't it? But you kept adding creamer. And now you got milk. It just looks like milk, pure white. Eventually, you're gonna have a cup. It's still coffee, but it looks pure as white once you get that in there. Now, does that make it not coffee? No, it's still coffee. But it doesn't look like coffee now, does it? Okay, it doesn't look like coffee, and that's how it happens. All right, when you have an Edomite mother, a Moabite mother, all right, you might be the whole coffee situation. That's more for Edomite. But you start getting those Moabite, your eyes start getting squintier and squintier. You can't see shit. Hell, you might even start losing how to draw. I'm fucking around, but you eat all that weird ass food. You talk about how are you doing today? And you walk around. You have that little Moabite shuffle. All right, where the old men, where they do that, they move their feet like 2 inches and they shuffle from store to store. How are you doing today? I love to see you. Good deals going on today. And then you bow and all that stuff, and you be like, that's a Moabite. But you go up to him and say, hey, Mr. Chang, what up? And he's like, how are you doing? Young man. When I used to be young, I used to rap like you. You're like, oh, this guy might be a Jake right here, man. He's cool as hell. Watch me breakdance right now. They're like, oh, Mr. Chang, go ahead and get it. You might just be a Jake. You don't know. You can't just go off of how they look. You know, you gotta judge them by their spirit, weigh them by their spirit, as the scriptures say. You know, try them of their spirit. Well, it talks about false prophets, but try them by the spirit. Let's go and get it. I was talking about false prophets, but this is how you try people, not by what they look like. It's the same way with false prophets. Bishop Nate, look at him, man. He's a false prophet, but he looks cool. He's got the outfit on. You know, he sitting there looking like, I don't know, somewhat of importance. You know, some royal dynasty figure, right? Some people say Ming the Merciless. 1 John 4:1, Beloved, believe not every spirit, but try the spirits whether they are of the Most High, because many false prophets are gone out into the world. And some of you simple jakes would have an Asian come up, what are you young men talking about today? You're like, get out of here, Moab. We ain't teaching the truth to you. But here it was, he went out of his way, all right, to wander up and learn, because he's probably a Jake, and you threw him away because, you thought, oh, look at the way he looks. Look the way he looks, the way he dressed, the way he moves, the way he moves. You know, but that's how you did it. And now you just cast someone away because you're simpleton simplington ass. Okay? Being simple. All right? And Jake loves being simple. All right? How long you simple ones we love simplicity, right? Forever, apparently. A lot of Jake dumb as a goddamn doorknob. This is Genesis 46:20. Further proving the point, says, And unto Joseph in the land of Egypt were born Manasseh and Ephraim, which Asenath, the daughter of Potiphar, priest of On, a Moabite, and a Hamite, bare unto him. All right. So Asenath, the daughter of Potiphar, priest of On, bare unto him. A Hamite. A Hamite birthed two Israelites. Yes. Why? What? Are they part Hamite? No. Would they at the time, did they probably have some Hamitic features? I wouldn't be surprised. Okay, because their mother was a Hamite. Okay, it's just like if you have a Moabite mother, you're gonna have some Moabite features. All right, if you're a girl, you got a Jake dad. All right, and a Moabite or Amalekite, not Amalekite, a Moabite or a Ammonite mom. You're probably gonna look bad as fuck because you're a what do they call a Blasian. All right, Blasian. But guess what? You're still Jake. Now, if you have a black mom, so-called, and you have an Asian father, and he really is Asian, he goes back to Moab, guess what? You might look just like a Jake, but your ass is a tear. And that's what we're going to be touching on next, because you look like a Jake, but you ain't. Just, there's some people that look like Jake, but aren't, and there's some people that look like heathen nations and aren't. Okay? It goes vice versa. You can look like a Jake and be you can look like a Jake and be a Moabite, and you can look like a Moabite and be a Jake. Okay? It all goes back. You got to try their spirit. Try their spirit, okay? Try their spirit. These days, if you went back in time, or if Manasseh and Ephraim were teleported in time, they're back through reincarnation. But if you were to see them, if you were to go in a time machine, go back then, you had no idea, you'd be like, look, those two Hamites. Those are two Hamites. No, they're not. They're two Israelites, but you're too busy, going off of color, all right? Going after some of the people born under Ruth, all right, under her, if she was a Moabite woman, they might have had the squintier eyes. They're Moabites. No, they're not. No, they're not. But you're simple. You don't understand it. You don't read. You don't understand the lineage. Seedline, tares. That's what we're getting on next. Speckled birds, right? We're going to get the speckled bird, all right, because we're going to get that. And then we're going to talk about these tares, man. We're going to talk about these tares. This is Jeremiah 12:9. It says, Mine heritage unto me as a speckled bird. The birds around about the birds around about are against her. Come ye and assemble all the beasts of the field, come to devour. So Jake looks like a speckled bird, man. You're gonna have white-looking ones, brown-looking ones, black-looking ones, yellow-looking ones. All right, all sorts of different colored ones, big ones, small ones, tat ones, small ones. I like skinny girls, fat girls, big girls. Welcome to Miami, right? So that's what you're gonna have. They're gonna look all sorts of different colors, shapes, sizes. All right, big old fat ones, the little tiny skinny ones. All right, 6 foot tall broads. All right, 5 foot tall broads, 4 foot tall broads. You're gonna see all this, and it don't matter change who you are. All right, because if you go back to Israel, you're Israel. If you go back to a heathen land or a heathen nation, you're of the heathen nation. That's how it is. You're gonna look different ways, and we proved that. We don't need to go and try to get it further. We proved it through getting Genesis 41, all right, and 46, and going up to Numbers and getting the generations of Yahushai. We can go and get the generations of Adam and show you it's the same. We're not gonna do it because we already proved it. Okay, it's through your father, through your father, through your father. Really, we could have left off with Numbers 1 and 18, but we're supposed to prove all things. That's why we went and got Matthew 1, the generations of Yahushai. And then there was Ruth, a Moabite woman. Is Yahushai a Moabite? No, he's an Israelite. Okay, what about Manasseh and Ephraim? They had a Hamitic mother. Are they Hamites? No, they're Israelites. Okay, and that's proved. We proved it through the scriptures. Okay, so just because someone looks some type of way, all right, or someone has a heathen mother, it doesn't mean a little bit of goddamn. Okay, if you have a heathen mother, it don't mean shit. Okay, it don't mean nothing because she's not the one who carries the seed. The mother does not carry the seed. She's the oven. All right, and she bakes it. It's a very important process. Women are still important. All right, they're going to give traits. All right, they raise them up. All right, they have traits that are passed down, but they do not carry the seed. The father carries the seed. You're saying you're making women not seem important. Well, you got to have a plot to plant the seed in, don't you? All right, or else that seed would never grow. Okay, that seed would never grow if it did not have a plot to grow in. So yes, it's an important process. Stop your bitch assness. Stop crying. Stop whining. All right, we proved it. That's how it goes. That's how it is. All right, now, since we did prove that and we got it through the scripture, all right, through Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, we also got the fact of the matter being that it doesn't matter what the mother is in the lineage case. All right, in the lineage case, if you got a Jake father and a Moabite mother, you're still a Jake. If you got a Jake father and a Hamite mother, you're still a Jake. If you got a Jake father and an Amalekite mother, you're still a Jake. If you got a Jake father and an Ishmaelite mother, you're still a Jake. It don't matter. Okay, it don't matter. Now you might look like an Ishmaelite, you might look like an Amalekite, you might look like a Moabite, you might look like a Hamite, you might look like this, you might look like that, but it doesn't matter. Just because you look some type of way, don't mean shit. You can go on TikTok and see a bunch of things that look like cake. They look like different things, but guess what? They're still cake. Okay, look, looks like a remote. Nope, it's cake. Look at that, it looks like that. Nope, it's cake. Don't matter what it looks like, it's still cake. Okay, just like you're still a Jake. Don't matter what you look like. All right, it's still a cake, still a Jake. Okay, you look like you a fake, you're still a fake. That's how it goes. All right, and you have that. Sometimes you might look like a Jake, but you ain't no Jake. You're a tear. You're a tear because you have a mother that is an Israelite, but you have an Edomite or a Moabite father. All right, so that goes back to that lineage. You're a heathen. Okay, but everyone's gonna be like, look, no, that's a brother right there. That's a brother. I'm like, he's weird as fuck. He's over there eating cockroaches and going around ting 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 ting. You know, singing in circles. You know, oh, how are you? Bowing. Not. He won't have the voice. But, you know, he's like, yeah, you know, he's really into all that. You know, that Chinese culture. I wonder why. Because probably his bitch ass probably a fucking Moabite, man. Probably a Moabite. And just because you like a different, you know, like certain things, it doesn't mean that you're, you know, I like, some people like anime, don't, oh, you're a fucking Ammonite. No, that's not how it works. That's not how it works. You might like certain things, but, so the fact of the matter is that if you're all in train, oh yeah, that brother, he's going over there, moving over there, and yeah, he took on Buddhism and everything. You know, yeah, probably because he's a Moabite. Probably because he's a fucking Moabite. Okay, yeah, but he's a black man. Yeah, it don't matter what he looks like. All right, still a Moabite. And that's what the case is. Just like you can end up looking like a heathen when you're a Jake, you can end up looking like a Jake when you're a heathen. Okay, we're going to prove that in Matthew 13 and 24. All right, let's go and get it. And we're getting ready to close out Matthew. So we don't even have to draw the picture. All right, but if you have a man, let me get a bigger thing here. If you have a man, all right, and over here you have a woman, all right, and you have them, boom, 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 and they have a child, all right, that stems back from over here. That's, you know, the woman, you know, bore the child, but it's of the man's lineage. Okay, we don't even need to really even have the picture up. So we're gonna get this, and then we're gonna go ahead and really close out. So these women, you black men, turn me off. All right, blah 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 blah. Yeah, because you want to bring forth the enemy seed. And that's the case, man. A lot of these women. So a black woman, when you get with an Edomite man, you're not bringing forth a black child. You're bringing forth an Edomite child, a white child, as they would call it. All right, it might look like you, but guess what? You're bringing forth the enemy seed, man. You're bringing forth the enemy seed. Unless that person turns out to be a Jake, and that does happen sometimes. Some of these black women get with a white man. You know, man, he's just got, you know, he rizzed me all up. He's got sauce and flavor. That's because, you know, he's an Israelite, man, and he wanted to be with you because he's an Israelite too, and he just wanted to be with one of his own kind. He don't look like his own kind, but he want to be with his own kind. Okay. So Matthew 13 and 24 through 30 reads, verse 24, another parable put he forth unto them, saying, the kingdom of heaven is likened unto a man which soweth good seed in his field. There's a lot of these terms, these planting terms all throughout the Bible. A seed, a seed line, right? You plant an orange, you get an orange. All right, you plant a grape, you get a grape. Okay, so it's like a farmer, all right, planting seed in a field, right? But when he had good seed, it was perfect. There was nothing else in it. All right, it was 100% wheat, just wheat. That's it. But while men slept, verse 25, but while men slept, his enemy came and sowed tares among the wheat and went his way. So an enemy came, and what did he do? He sowed tares. All right, and if you know what a tare looks like, all right, a tare versus wheat, they look the damn same. You can, a trained eye can probably tell them, but you can't hardly tell them if you don't know about agriculture. Okay, they look very, 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 very similar. See how similar they look? They look very similar. Okay, going back. But while men slept, his enemy came and sowed tares. His enemy came and sowed tares among the wheat and went his way. An enemy, and that happened in the slave times. These white Edomite slave owners busting it down. All right, we're raping our women. All right, sneaking into the slave barracks at night and popping them down. All right, even though they had husbands, they were raping them. All right, popping them down. And guess what? That lady had a child. And guess what? You think that was that child an Israelite? No, it was a slave master's child. All right, and guess what? Guess what they were? They were an Edomite. They looked brown. Hell, they might have even went through a little bit of slavery, but they didn't have it bad. They were probably the ones that turned into, house slaves. All right, you know what they call them? House ninjas. That's what they probably were. They didn't have it so bad. All right, not as bad as everyone else. They got to live in the house. They got to be the nanny, right? So verse 26, and sometimes that happened with regular Jake too, but those Edomites, they're Edomites. They didn't have it as bad as quite as everybody else. It says, verse 26, but when the blade was sprung up and brought forth fruit, then appeared tares also. Okay, so here you had this field of wheat, all of a sudden a bunch of tares popping up. All right, verse 27, so the servants of the householder came and said unto him, Sir, did thou not sow good seed in thy field? From whence then have it tare? What did you do, sir? Did you buy that cheap seed? Was it not that good seed? You got the cheap stuff. You didn't get the good stuff. There's seeds. There's tares everywhere. And verse 28, he said unto them, an enemy hath done this. The servant said unto him, wilt thou then that we go and gather them up? There must have been an enemy that did this, because I planted good seed. I made sure I had that good seed. I made sure it was wheat. So an enemy came here and planted all this wheat, this tares up in my field. The servant said, what do you want us to do? You want us to go and get them? You want us to go tear them up? What did he say? Verse 29, but he said, nay, no, don't do it, right? Lest while ye gather up the tares, ye root up also the wheat with them. Don't do it, because they're very hard to tell apart. All right, they're very hard to tell apart. Don't do it right now, because you're gonna fuck around and you're gonna end up gathering up some wheat, and we need that wheat, so don't do it. Wait. In verse 30 it says, let both grow together. So you can have that. You're gonna have tares growing up with Jake. Right, you're gonna have tares growing up with Jake, Jake growing up with tares, thinking they're friends. All right, this is my friend Jamal. Jamal's a tare. He's actually an Ammonite. All right, this is my friend Tucker. Tucker's actually an Edomite. Okay, verse 30, let both grow together until the harvest, and in the time of harvest I will say to the reapers, gather ye together first the tares, and bind them in bundles to burn them, but gather the wheat into my barn. And that's what's going to happen when Yahushua comes back. All right, you're not going to sneak through because you're a tare. Look, I look just like him. Ha ha, I'm going to make it out of here. No, you're not. The Lord knows. All right, people might not be able to tell the difference between a tare and a piece of wheat, but guess who can tell? The Lord, because he looks on the heart. He doesn't look at how you look. All right, men look on the outside. They think he looks just like a piece of wheat. Well, the Lord's not. He's going by what that piece of wheat is. He can tell. He can look at the wheat. Yeah, that's a piece of wheat. Or you can make bread out of this. You can't do shit with a tare. Tares are useless. You got to throw them away. They got to be discarded. You can't do anything with them. Okay, 1 Samuel 16 and 7. But the Lord said unto Samuel, look not on his countenance or on the height of his stature, because I have refused him. For the Lord seeth not as man seeth. You look on the outside, you say, yeah, he looks like a piece of wheat, must be a piece of wheat. That's not how the Lord looks at it. It says, for the Lord seeth not as man seeth, for man looketh on the outward appearance. Look, it looks like a piece of wheat, grows like a piece of wheat. It's not how the Lord works. For man looketh on the outward appearance, but the Lord looketh on the heart. He knows who you are. He knows what you look like. He knows even though you look like something that you ain't something. All right, he knows. Because he's not going off of what you look like or how you smell or how this or that. He knows by your heart. He knows what ingredients. He knows, he knows the nutrients that went up into that piece of wheat. All right, he knows where it came from. All right. So you can't try to filibuster and get one over the Lord because you look some type of way. It don't matter how you look. All right, don't matter how you smell. All right, don't matter how you dress or how you it matters a little bit how you dress or how you walk, because sometimes those can be defining factors. Try by their spirit. Here it is. You got an Edomite, so-called. You think it's an Edomite, right? And he busts the fattest rap you've ever heard. All right, he can break dance, and he's got Riz like a motherfucker. All right, he's getting all the black girls. Oh, I like him. I like Marshall. You know what I'm talking about? Marshall Mathers, Eminem. Eminem's a Jake. All right, he looks like an Edomite, but he's a Jake. Well, that's an Edomite. So you're gonna say single-handedly that Edomite bested Jake? He's at the top of the rap billboards, known as the best battle rapper. You're gonna say he's better than all the Israelites? He outdid Jake? No, Jake's the salt of the earth. He's not gonna outdo him. All right, because he's an Israelite. He's an Israelite. He grew up rough in that lifestyle. He's an Israelite. All right, he's an Israelite. Look at Lenny Kravitz. Oh yeah, look at him. He's an Israelite. No, he's not. That's a fucking Amalekite. That's an Amalekite. That's a small hat. Okay, but he looks brown. He's even got the dreads to go along with it. All right, it don't matter. It don't matter how you look. It matters what you go back to. It matters about your soul. It matters your heart. It matters your lineage. All right, who your father is. It don't matter if your father looked like a Chinese man, and his father looked like a Chinese man, and his father looked like a Chinese man. And it don't matter if you can't even go back and find out where there was some type of Israelite in the lineage. It don't matter if you can find it. It don't matter if you can find it. Do you understand the names? Do you understand Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai? Are you getting this truth? All right, are you teaching this word? All right, if you can't teach because you're a woman, are you understanding this truth? Now, do you know the name of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai? Do you pray in the name of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai? All right, do you understand who the Edomites are in Israel? Do you understand that salvation's only for Israel? Do you understand that Yahweh Shai is coming back? Then you're an Israelite. Okay, don't matter how you look, don't matter if you can't prove it. You don't have to go and do an ancestry fucking DNA test. All right, you don't have to go back and try to prove it because it's all bullshit. All right, do you understand this truth? You're an Israelite. It's only for Israel. Ain't no heathen gonna be understand this truth, reading, studying the Bible. All right, calling on the name of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. It doesn't work. Okay, so that's how you tell. That's how you tell. So your seed line comes from your father. All right, these tares, they're around. All right, they look just like you, but they ain't you. All right, speckled birds, same thing. Then these people might not look like you, but they are you. All right, and these women, I don't really touch upon that too much. You traitor ass as Jake women. All right, get with Edomite men, bringing forth their seed. Here you are. You think I'm bringing in more children to the black community? No, you're not. You're bringing more children, to fucking insurgents, spies. All right, so you're sowing tares. All right, you think that's wheat? It's tare. You might be wheat, but you're sowing tares. All right, because how? You're bringing forth the enemy's seed. Seed line, tares, speckled birds, and bringing forth the enemy's seed. That's it, man. That's it. That's it. That's all you need. That's it. That got everything. You are of your father. You're not of your mother. It doesn't matter who your mother is. It doesn't matter if she's a Moabite, an Ammonite, an Ishmaelite. It doesn't matter if she's an Israelite and your dad's it does matter in that case. Because it doesn't matter if she's an Israelite. Well, it doesn't matter if she's an Israelite and your father's an Israelite. What, you're a double Israelite now? No, it's just you're an Israelite. What if she was a Moabite? You're still an Israelite. What if she was an Ishmaelite? You're still an Israelite. All right, but if that father changes at any point from being Israelite to something else, then you're whatever that is. All right, a Moabite, an Ishmaelite, however it goes. So it's through your father's line. It's through your father's line. If your father's a Chinese man, don't freak out. Do you get this truth? Hey. Cool. Good to go, man. You're good to go. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and close out. Lord willing, this was edifying. Lord willing, you get the understanding, right? That's how it goes. So don't matter what your mom is, all right, other than you're going to get some features from her. All right, if she's a Moabite with some squinty-ass eyes, you're going to have some squinty-ass eyes. That's just how it goes. Okay, so with that, we're going to go ahead and close out. Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. Once again, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Makakwadash. I want to give double honors to the elders and apostles at Great Millstone that taught me this truth rule well. Shalom to you brothers and sisters out there. Keep enduring, keep the faith. We're almost out of here. Until next one, Lord willing, shalom.